There are discoveries that shake astronomy, discoveries that confuse astronomers. And then there are the discoveries that crack open the very floor beneath physics itself. The kind of discoveries that force Nobel Prize winners to go quiet in interviews, that make cosmologists close their laptops and whisper, "This doesn't make sense," that make even the most confident defenders of the Big Bang stop mid-sentence because the data they are seeing simply should not exist. And the James Webb Space Telescope has just delivered exactly that kind of discovery. Something so profoundly contradictory, so violently incompatible with our current theories of galaxy formation, cosmic evolution, and the origin of matter itself, that scientists are being forced to admit, reluctantly, nervously, and in some cases publicly, that something is fundamentally wrong with the way we understand the early universe. Webb looked deeper than any instrument in human history. It looked beyond the cosmic dark ages into a region where the first flickers of starlight were supposed to appear. And instead of finding faint, primitive baby galaxies slowly forming out of hydrogen clouds, Webb found monsters, hyper-bright, perfectly structured, impossibly massive objects that should not exist for another billion years. Objects that are not behaving like galaxies, not forming like galaxies, not evolving like galaxies. Objects that may not be galaxies at all. And as these images came in one after another, each one breaking a different piece of the cosmological model, one realization began spreading across the scientific community like a quiet shockwave. James Webb didn't just reveal new objects, it shattered physics. It all started with a single object, a small yellow blob hidden in one of Webb's deep field images, barely noticeable among thousands of faint specks. There was no reason to think it was anything special, nothing about it that screamed cosmic anomaly, except for one detail that refused to be ignored. It was too bright. Not just slightly unusually bright. Bright in a way that violated every luminosity model we have for the early universe. Astronomers initially assumed it was closer, a trick of distance, the kind of misjudgment that happens all the time in deep cosmology. But spectroscopy ruined that assumption instantly. The redshift was enormous, the distance was real, and suddenly they were staring at the most distant galaxy ever observed, existing when the universe was only 290 million years old. But it didn't look like a baby galaxy. It didn't look primitive or small or chaotic. It looked structured, massive, fully formed, a veteran in an era where only newborns should exist. And this is the moment when panic began to spread quietly behind the scenes. Because if even one fully formed galaxy existed at that time, then everything we know about early universe physics is wrong. And within days, Webb revealed that it wasn't alone, not a fluke, not a one-off, but the first in a flood of objects that defy every rule in our cosmic playbook. Deep fields from James Webb are supposed to be windows into cosmic infancy, quiet, faint, and mist, scattered points of light representing the earliest baby steps of structure formation. But when Webb turned its infrared eyes toward one of the darkest corners of the cosmos, what it saw was not infancy. It was maturity, activity, complexity. Webb found thousands of strange objects in these deep fields. And the more astronomers examined them, the more they realized they weren't looking at early galaxies at all. These objects are too bright, too compact, too massive, too organized. They do not match any known form of proto-galaxy from standard cosmology. And the worst part? They appear everywhere in the early universe. Not one anomaly, not two, but an entire population of cosmic structures that simply should not exist at that time. A recent study found 87 potential galaxies formed between 200 and 400 million years after the Big Bang, a number so absurdly high that it directly contradicts the number 4 CDM model, the foundation of modern cosmology. One of the study's authors admitted openly, even if only a few of these are real, we must rethink galaxy formation entirely. And this is the unbearable truth. Webb is not revealing a slow-growing universe. It is revealing a universe that appears to have skipped the opening chapters entirely. A universe that looks too old at the edges. A universe that matured too fast. A universe that is behaving as if the Big Bang timeline is either incomplete or wrong. As if bright, massive early objects weren't enough, Webb discovered something far more disturbing, something that violates basic physics. In every known galaxy today, only about 10% of the gas ever turns into stars. That limit is so stable, so universal, so deeply baked into astrophysics that it's considered a cosmic rule. But Webb has now identified 3 early objects where 100% of the gas has turned into stars. Every atom, every molecule, every particle converted. This is impossible under current physics. A galaxy cannot burn all its material instantly. It needs time to cool, collapse, fragment. It needs cycles of starburst and quenching. But Webb's objects behave like they were assembled by an entirely different process, a process that does not appear anywhere in modern astrophysics. These objects are not behaving like galaxies. They are behaving like something else entirely, something we don't even have terminology for. Some scientists now quietly suggest that these might not be galaxies at all, but an unknown category of cosmic object that predates every model we've developed. And that possibility is scarier than any anomaly so far, because it means we aren't just missing details. We may be missing an entire chapter of cosmic evolution. For almost a century, we have believed that distant galaxies recede from us because the universe is expanding. And we know that the farther away an object is, the faster it moves, some even faster than the speed of light. According to relativity, these galaxies should be invisible because their light should never reach us. But Webb sees them. It sees galaxies located beyond the so-called Hubble sphere, galaxies receding faster than light, galaxies that should be forever hidden behind a cosmic horizon, and yet their photons arrive. The standard explanation is that the Hubble sphere itself expands over time, pulling new galaxies into visibility. But Webb's new deep field discoveries stretch that explanation to breaking point. We are seeing objects that, according to our equations, should have permanently outrun their own light. And if that's true, then something about our understanding of cosmic expansion is fundamentally flawed. Either relativity is incomplete, or the geometry of space is more complex than we imagined, or the early universe behaved in a way no existing theory predicts. Webb has exposed the greatest paradox in observational cosmology. We are seeing things we should never be able to see. The observable universe spans about 92 billion light-years, but this number is not a real boundary.